Growing up, I never thought I was lucky to be able to speak Japanese. I envied my brother who grew up speaking English, who had the freedom to choose whether he wanted to speak Japanese or not. I never understood why this was so important to my parents. I felt like I could never communicate well enough. I always felt like there was a wall between us, preventing us from communicating effectively.
それは私の決める問題じゃなくて、アリサ自身が決める問題だと思う。アメリカでも日本でも通じる名前っていうと思って考えた名前だし、2人がたくさんの人と違うのはミドルネームだと思うよ。ミドルネームはどっちかっていうと日本のことをもっと意識した名前だったと思うから、アリサのミドルネームは2つの国を結ぶっていう意味でユイっていうふうにつけたし、キーネンのミドルネームもそのお母さんとお父さんのそれぞれの父親の名前の漢字を一つずつ取ってつけた名前だから。
In school, when we're greeting each other by middle names, I'm hearing all these English middle names like Patrick, James, Smith, all those, and then I feel a little embarrassed by saying my middle name because it's so different from everybody else's. I like my name. I don't think that I'd like another one, but sometimes it gets a bit frustrating because it's a little difficult to spell, and then lots of people spell it different ways, and I have to correct it all the time for people. And it's much easier for me to just say that I don't know some Japanese than to spell my name to a whole bunch of different people all the time.
だって日本語がやっぱり私の第一カ国語だし、自分の家族はあんまり英語喋れる人はいないから、子供が2つの国の言葉を話してくれれば、おじいちゃんとかおばあちゃんとかとも会話ができる方がいいんじゃないかなと思ったから。学校に日本人のばっかりの日本語学校行って、きっとその子たちほど日本語ができないから、アリサはきっとそれでだんだん行きたくなくなったのかなと思ったけど、基本的に日本語は喋れる方がいいんじゃないかなと思って学校に行ってたけど、多分アリサの中でだんだん自分のアイデンティティ、自分はアメリカ人だって、ちっちゃい頃「I'm English」って私に一度言ったことがある。I'm not Japanese, I'm English.
When I was younger, I hated it. I thought it wasn't worth my time.
I really just want to know to communicate and tell people stuff that I mean to tell them.
Honestly, I felt jealous because being their first child, I was forced to learn both languages without having a say in their decision. He would grow up hearing both languages and eventually decide whether he wanted to learn Japanese or not.
壁？大人と子供だからそんなにはないと思うよ。
I think there is, purely because there's this whole generation gap, and I was also raised in America, and I think differently because I was raised in America, and it's hard for me to respect their decisions sometimes, and it's hard for them to understand why I make my decisions the way I do.
Some of the arguments that you have are in Japanese, and I don't really want to know what you're saying. But then sometimes I wish I could listen in and hear what you all are saying and understand. I'm trying to be careful of how it comes out of my mouth, but I'm also trying to actually just say the things right. It gets complicated, and I try to avoid speaking it.
キーネンに日本語習いたいのって前聞いたら、別に興味はなさそうだったし、基本的に 彼自身が自分はアメリカ人だと思ってるんだから日本に行ってその言葉が自分は勉強したくないしアメリカ人の人でそういう壁を感じるのは、ある程度はしょうがない。バイリンガルの方が得だろうな、いろんな言葉が話したり日本のこといろんな違う国の人と会話ができたり他のことを世界の大きさを知るっていうことはいいことだと思う。
I always wondered what it would be like if I hadn't been forced to learn the language when I was younger. Knowing that I'm not the only one who deals with this feeling of isolation in the family helps. Knowing my parents' reasons for doing what they did helps, but it still doesn't bring down the wall, I feel.